Today we're taking a look at 1980X for the Nintendo Switch. Priced at $10 in the US or £10 in the UK, this one tackles a coming of age story through an arcade. Something, if you're on this channel, I'm sure we all love. But that's right, here we're going to get 5 different game styles, all throwing back to those 80s and 90s to tell our story. But can this live up to some of the classics that influenced each of the 5 levels included? Or is it a poorly made copycat? Well, hit subscribe if this video helps you out, leave a comment below with some of your favourite arcade games. And with that, let's get this started. So 1980X tells the story of a kid living a very much quiet life in suburbia outside a major city. And that's how I grew up, so it was instantly recognisable. Here though, one day he discovers the arcade and a realisation that this is a potential escape from the realities of growing up. He can be anyone here when he's spending his quarters on these classic units. While the story is entertaining and clearly a strong beginning point, unfortunately I will say don't expect it to give you too much. That's definitely not because of the skill of the writers. I'm sure for most of us out there we're going to connect at some level with this. Who hasn't wanted to escape real world responsibilities at some point? But it's actually because this one is episodic. So think Telltale game style, so you're going to need to wait for this to develop even further in the next episodes. Overall though, characters I like, the world is relatable with a suitably, neon twist. I love the way they use different throwback games and to push the story forward, and it all feels like a lot of passion went into its creation. They've definitely got a strong start here, and I mean, they've obviously done a good thing because it makes me want to see more. Here, gameplay is all reserved for the 5 arcade games on offer. The rest of the real world elements are cutscenes and dialogue. Don't expect to be exploring kids' world here, that's already very set in stone. But let's look at these 5 games individually. First up, we get Beating Heart. This one, it's influenced by Streets of Rage and it gets the genre spot on. A side-scrolling fighter with punch, kick and jump mechanics, the occasional special, and then weapon and health pickups too. This honestly was so well done. I had so much fun in this kind of Beating Hearts world, and they really did stand up to its influences and really show you what its aims are. Next up then we get Out the Fire, the side-scrolling shmup. It's basically R-Type. Expect the genre standards, a breakneck pace, waves of intense enemies and obstacles, special abilities to really kick some ass, and of course, it wouldn't be a shooter if there wasn't a huge ass boss to destroy at the end. This one, again, the controls are tight and they've done a great job of recreating something realistic. I was actually really sad to see this one finish. I'd happily play 4, 5, 6, 7 levels of this thing. Next up is The Runway and it's Outrun. Not much to this one. It's a racer where you need to make it to the end before the timer runs out, all while avoiding oncoming traffic. Like Outrun before it, it's a lot of fun. It's very fast paced, it's very simple, and you can see why the original was so addictive. Now the most interesting, Shadowplay. This is a 2D ninja slasher set in like an endless runner vibe. You're going horizontal, it's fast paced, it's challenging. It's also really well done. The world's interesting, the enemies are suitably tough. It even took me a few attempts to get through this one. I wish it was a little bit longer though, because I really did enjoy it and I wanted to keep on ramping that difficulty. And then last up, we get Kill Screen. For me, it's the weakest one in the package, mainly because I'm not a fan of this genre, honestly. It's, a typical dungeon crawler where you're going to be going head to head with enemies in turn-based combat, hunting down, I think it's 4 dragons. It all works fine, but this one, it's kind of closing up the story of the game. And I wish they went out on a slightly more exciting note, though this particular game does make sense to the storyline, I will say that much. With 5 game modes, they all work well. They control as you would expect, but only having 1 level each kind of harms the game in a couple of ways. First off, the first 4 titles, I wish they extended them. They did such a great job, recreating these genres that you end up just wanting more. It's all a little kind of deflating when you realise that that arcade machine is already over. But also, the running time, you're going to beat this one in 90 minutes or so. It is only $9.99. I don't think it's that bad for the price, honestly. I pay the same for shmups, for example, but this one, it doesn't give you too many reasons to return, and that's a shame when clearly so much skill has been displayed from the development team. Graphically speaking, this is beautiful. Not only do they recreate the games near perfectly, but the whole story, it's pixelated look, it's just this great way to tell its coming of age story. Everything here just screams stylistic, whether that's the streets of Suburbia or the neon lights of the city you can see in the distance, kind of drawing you and pulling you in. Each game also brings its own style to the table without feeling too disconnected from the real world it's based within, whether that's, the beating arts, vibrance and animations, out the side space theme, runways, beautiful cityscapes that you race towards in the background. It's an extremely solid graphical piece that does not disappoint on any level. Even kill screen and its kind of early day 3D feel, it belongs here. It's definitely that next step up in graphical power. Audio, and simply put, wow, if this game has a standout area, this is it. From the opening seconds, you know you're in for something special. The main menu has hints of like Blade Runner and synthwave, beating hearts is suitably hair metal, out the sides breakneck pace, runways synthwave kind of speed, shadow play suitably mystical electronic with classical instrumentation, through to then the fantasy of kill screens, suitably ominous soundtrack. This is the best soundtrack I've heard in a long time, and honestly, understandably so when you look at the team. They pulled in some incredible talent for this one, including Yuzo Koshiro, known for composing music for Shinobi, Streets of Rage and ActRaiser. The first thing I did when I finished this was look to see where I could buy the soundtrack, couldn't find it, so then I emailed the publisher to ask them. This seriously is something special. Overall, 1980X is an incredibly accomplished piece of work, bringing together 5 genres. It tells a tale that many will be able to relate to in some way. The characters, they're well developed, the gameplay is solid across all of the games, and the music, some of the best I've heard in a long time. I wish it wasn't episodic. The main problem I have here with this game is everything's too short. Each game was just over so quickly, I was kind of just getting into it when 1980X pulled it away from me. But with that being said, every single experience was memorable, and I'm kind of getting that urge now that I will go back and try them at least one more time. At this price point, it's definitely going to be easy to complain here. $10 or £10 for 90 minutes. It's honestly kind of steep, I'll put that out there, even for me. But it was a really good 90 minutes. It kind of got stuck in my brain. I've seen some low reviews out there for this one, I'll put that out there, especially down to its episodic nature and that running time. But spending $9.99, I'm in no way disappointed with this experience. They did give me a review code, but I'd happily go out there and spend the $10. I'll pay $10 for the soundtrack. I'm excited to see where this one goes, and today I'm giving 1980X an 8 out of 10. Expect to see some complaints, as I said, on length and story and the episodic nature, but if you grew up in those arcade days, I think you will find something that will just tug on your nostalgia strings, and I'm confident you're not going to regret the money you drop. Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button for more content just like this. We're all about very honest reviews. Hit like, leave us a comment with your thoughts on price versus game length. We would love to know how you all feel about that. And with that, we'll see you all on the next Gaming X.